Company representatives told customers they needed to set up a phone call before they could issue a refund, but then did not call at the scheduled time. Said they processed refunds that never actually arrived and promised new shipping dates that were never met. This is an excerpt from a CoinDesk article that outlines a newly filed class action lawsuit against the California-based distributor of helium hotspots, Parley Labs. This is a startling accusation and is one that I sadly admit I am not totally surprised by. I have been against allowing manufacturers to work with minor distributors on the network ever since CalChip started slinging rack miners. I understand why distributors in different markets around the world exist and are needed, but with such high demand and the integrity of the Helium network at stake, I don't think allowing middlemen between MOC-approved manufacturers and Helium miners should be tolerated. We just end up with a class action lawsuit and a finger-pointing circus. Let's take a look at the details in today's video. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another video here in the Crypto Compound channel. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you guys are having a great day. Please hit that like and subscribe on the way in. In today's video, we are going to be talking about this article that was released on CoinDesk on March 2nd and later updated yesterday on March 3rd. This is a very unfortunate article here that outlines a newly filed class action lawsuit against Parley Labs. Parley Labs is not a Helium MOC approved manufacturer. They are in fact a distributor, a California-based distributor of Helium crypto mining hotspots. As we can see here, a newly filed lawsuit against a California-based distributor of Helium crypto mining rigs offers a glimpse into the supply chain and customer service nightmare plaguing the rapidly expanding protocol. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, I sadly cannot admit that I'm totally surprised that these issues have escalated to a class action lawsuit. It's very unfortunate and looks horrible for the Helium network and HNT, and is really a horrible thing to be associated with as such a fast-growing and valuable and promising cryptocurrency. However, if we look here back on February 4th, I made a Twitter post outlining something that I was very frustrated with, and I've been frustrated with minor distributors for a while, but this was the most blatantly obvious one. Minor distributors now price gouging based on shipping date. There's no place for distributors in the Helium network, in my opinion, on February 4th, and as you can see here, they were charging an extra $200 for different shipping dates. Ship in 24 hours, ship in 20 days, ship in 45 days, and I just thought that was egregious. The interesting thing, however, is though Chris here, I believe Chris is the co-founder of Internet of We, seems to be a really nice guy, and I have absolutely nothing bad to say about him. However, it seems that he is either applying or is approved to be a Helium miner distributor, and so of course he was a little bit, he was not exactly thrilled that I took that stance, which is totally fine. And he made some really good points as to why distributors are needed, and I totally get that. However, I responded and I said, I see your point. I just feel as though the outsourcing of those tasks make it far easier for the manufacturer to essentially do a cash grab. And I should have added the manufacturer or the distributor to essentially do a cash grab. And now what we're talking about here is the manufacturers being allowed to use these distributors. And I'm saying here, if the manufacturer had been fully invested in the process, I think we would see far better product quality and customer service. The fact is that after unloading thousands of hotspots to distributors, a lot of these manufacturers can simply just disappear. Early on, when demand was more uncertain, I totally understand the need for distributors, but now I think it's reasonable to require the people manufacturing a core part of the network to really commit and make the distribution investment. So basically, what that exchange is talking about is how these manufacturers are able to get approved by the MOC to make Helium manufacturers and then sell all of these orders to distributors. And that is basically exactly what happened here. That is why we are having a finger-pointing contest where Nebra is pointing at Parley Labs, Parley Labs is pointing at Nebra, Helium is referencing the global supply chain crisis and chip shortage. And I think one of the main problems is that the MOC only oversees and approves and vets these manufacturers. They don't do any vetting of any distributors. I think that is an extreme weak point here for Helium and the Helium network. Guys, I'm not going to read through this article. However, it is very well written and there's a lot of information here. Gonna link it down below. You guys can come take a look. I'm just going to let you guys know how I'm feeling about this issue. And of course, I'm very, very upset that this is what we're experiencing here in the Helium community. Now, as I mentioned, as I thought that the option to have these distributors can be seen as a cash grab, it seems as though that is exactly what happened. As I mentioned in the intro, I read this piece here where the company actually told people they had to schedule a phone call to get a refund. That is absolutely insane. I've never heard of anything like that in my life. And now this is total speculation and it's just my opinion, but I believe the only reason Parley Labs would be so hesitant to issue refunds is because that money has already been spent or is no longer inside of the company or something along those lines. Of course, that is complete speculation. However, it's crazy to me that it would be so difficult to get a refund. And then they said the process could take up to 8 weeks for these refunds. That is insane. And the fact that this company was not vetted, was not approved by Helium, should not be a problem that we are dealing with here in the Helium community or on the Helium network. And as we can see here, we can see the finger pointing circus. According to the lawsuit, Parley told its customers that it would issue unilateral refunds due to uncertainty regarding Nebra's ability to deliver hotspots. Now, if you ask Nebra, they could say that they sent them. That is a similar situation what happened with Rack and Calchip, but it turns into a giant circus with one person here having zero accountability from Helium being Parley Labs. I really don't have anything good to say about Nebra. However, Parley, at least the MOC, has some sort of discussion with Nebra, went through some sort of vetting process and whatnot. I've personally have had my issues with Nebra, and I'll probably make another video outlining my experience with them even more recently, as up to a few weeks ago. But at least the MOC has some sort of ability to monitor Nebra, as they are an approved manufacturer and they were approved through the process. Now, even more interestingly, on the DY Helium monthly community call last week or 2 weeks ago, I forget what it was, Germ here actually has a draft tip, which I fully support, and it says require hotspot manufacturers or fleet managers to lock tokens. That is basically that is a brilliant idea. I fully support that. And the reason for that is that now you have some sort of a tool to manage or to punish approved manufacturers with if they are not operating on the network the way that they have pledged to, or the way that Helium and the MOC expect them to. What you do is they would essentially lock up however many tokens. I forget what the actual suggested amount was, but basically they'd agree to essentially pay fines from that token pool if they do not operate properly on the network. Now, according to this article, it got so bad that people had to just call the credit card companies to dispute these transactions. And I mean, that is very sad. That reflects horribly on the Helium network. None of that should be happening. These refunds, if people want refunds, they should be able to get refunds processed immediately. Now, as we can see here, the person who's filing this lawsuit has said, at this juncture, the refund does not make me whole, and I will be proceeding in the lawsuit I have filed against Parley Labs. I cannot say I blame this person. I would be equally as frustrated and infuriated, especially considering the timeline at which you were not earning any HNT, all of the missed promises and missed deadlines, and especially once they told you that you had to schedule a phone call, process a refund, and that refund never even came. Guys, as more information comes out, I will try and get it out to you. This is how I feel about this. Of course, this is horrible. This is terrible news for the Helium community, and it shines a very poor light on Helium themselves. However, I think we can get past this. I think some more requirements through the MOC and implementation of different restrictions from Helium might be able to get rid of all of these issues we're experiencing here. But of course, the demand is still there. The demand is good. Helium is still running. However, this is just a horrible sequence of events that led us to this class action lawsuit. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Of course, this is going to be one of the biggest stories in the Helium community, and it might overshadow all of the good things that are happening within Helium. However, these things do need to be talked about. They do need to be addressed, and they do need to be fixed. Guys, let me know your thoughts below. Let me know what you're thinking. I really am curious about your guys' input. There's a lot of different ways to try and solve this, or what we're thinking, or if you've had different experiences than what we've seen here from this article. Let me know down below, guys. That is all I have for today's video. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Please hit that like and subscribe if you have not already. But just like that, this video is over, and I will see you next time.